Hi everyone, Shane R. Monroe here. These cassettes tell an interesting story, especially this one. Stick around, you're not going to want to miss this.
Let's go into the MonroeWorld.
With all of the Steam controller coverage that I've been giving, I thought my beloved Commodore 64 users would like to have a little something something. So it turns out these just managed to show up today. I ordered these a while back because there's something special about this game of Beachhead, this version of Beachhead. You're saying, Shane, it's Beachhead. I played this a million times and I played it on a disc. I don't know what's so special about this. Well, the story will come in just a moment. But I also got these other two tapes along with my eBay order, and they came with documentation, which was always kind of cool. Some of these, I don't even know if they're available. I can tell you that all three of these tapes are not available in any archive that I could find. And you're probably saying, so what? I've got Archon too. It's a PRG file. I've got, well, maybe you don't have cribbage. I don't know if I've ever seen this game before in my life, a product of the Software Guild. COM64, that was always one of my favorites. I don't know why. Like, why didn't they just do C64 like everybody else? But this game of Beachhead here, this version, I believe, held an interesting tale. And that is the fact, there's a game, the game's on both sides. I'm just going to put it in here and rewind it. I was positive growing up as a kid that one of my Commodore 64 games on cassette actually told you that the load time of that cassette was 22.5 minutes. Now, I could dismiss 22 minutes, right? Why would I remember 22.5? 22.5, what a very specific thing to lodge into your memory. So I started thinking about it and I went looking for this. I went looking for Beachhead on tape online somewhere, a digital copy that I could play in the Commodore 64 Ultimate. And there's only two releases or two distributions of this game that I could find. One of them was from US Gold, which if you're from the UK or the EU, US Gold distributed tons of Western games over there. This game was also mass released by a company locally in the United States called Americana. And that was a budget release. So you weren't paying full price. Now, by the time that this game started coming out, I think a lot of people had disk drives. So at least in the US, right? I understand that over in the UK and in the EU, you guys lived on tapes for a really long time, but we all moved up. So this is sort of a limited release, one, because it's on tape, right? And two, there's no mention of US Gold on here. There's also no mention of Americana on here, right? So there's also no mention of any of that in here. There's no distributor, right? This is like self-published from Access Software. Like the Carver brothers probably like did these themselves or something. I don't know. But this was like the very early OG release. Now the fun part is none of these games appear in any cassette archive that I could find, including the Ultimate Tape version 5 archive that's on archive.org. So one, I've got some sort of neat little piece of history here. And two, I'm going to finally get the answer to the question, was this the game that showed a 22.5 minute load time? First of all, can you even believe that a game would have a 22-minute load time? You probably don't, because if you're a tape user, you probably only had commercial tapes that had fast loaders, right? Nova Loader, the Ocean Loader, there was a billion of these things, and they all made these tapes load really fast and did cool slideshows and cool things like that while you were loading. This, my friend, is so OG, it's got none of that. Now, it's funny, though, it does say that it's copy protected. But it does also say that it's the disc that's copy protected. So this was just a pack-in that probably went with both versions. I assure you, this fell immediately to my dual cassette copier. There's a copy of it on this tape right here. I won't show you that, but it does work. Now, let's get back to the question at hand. Is this a 22-minute load? Now, if you look at the tape, well, I guess it's really hard to see, but how much tape is used for Sargon 2? A lot less than for Beachhead. What about our buddy Cribbage here? Holy crap, that's almost not even a comparison, right? So this is a long tape. And it shows like, I don't know, what does that mean? Does that mean 40-something? I don't know. I don't know what that means. However, we can find this out right now by sticking it in, hitting Commodore run stop, or you could type in load if you want to, and we'll hit play. Now, for those of you who aren't really savvy on the whole tape, you're going to get to hear it. I'm going to actually take the microphone off and put it over here so you can hear it because, oh, there you go. Hear the whining? Yeah, let me get the microphone here. You know, it starts buzzing. So the whining is a signal. The buzzing that you hear is actual data that's going across. Now you see, it found beachhead. Now it should load a loader that will then present a screen telling you how long it's going to take to load. That's what we're looking for. And am I right? 14.5. Well, I had the 0.5 right. Could I just have imagined the 22? But listen, 14.5 is ridiculous. That's crazy. That means there's no fast loaders, there's no turbo loaders. There is nothing to help this tape load. Now, we could literally sit here for 14.5 minutes. It may load and it may not load. Tapes are incredibly finicky. And these tapes are 40-something years old, right? 1983 I saw on one of these, right? 1983 was on, no, it's on that one. 1983, folks. You're talking about some very, very old magnetic media, right? This is just magnetic media strips right here. That's it. The more you play them, the more they go away. These look almost brand new, which is crazy town. So it's kind of cool to have these things, especially if they work. Now, the good news is I cleaned my tape heads and I tried several different times. This cribbage did not want to load at all. But nice thing about the Commodore 64 Ultimate, and if you want to see a more thorough video of this, leave a comment down below. This will allow you to take a tape from the cassette drive and load it into a digital.tap file. Now, since none of these three games seem to appear in any collection, I ripped all three of them. This cribbage one was just a freaking mess. It took me like 4 or 5 tries, but I did. I got them all. I took pictures of the front, high quality. Well, this one didn't get a very high quality picture, but I got pictures of high quality pictures of all of them, and they're going up to archive.org even as we speak. There'll be a link down below so that you can own, well, you can have these 3 unusual cassettes. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, well, Shane, if you've ripped it digitally, why are we waiting for this thing to load? Well, because tape files off the Commodore 64 Ultimate load in real time. So if you play it digitally or on here, the digital copy I know works. I pulled a copy down and I tested it. Now imagine a 14-minute load to make a recording of it, and then another 14 minutes to actually test it. If it fails, you got to go back, rip 14.5 minutes again, check that copy. I've been at this all afternoon, folks. This has been my evening, is trying to rip these guys. But now we've got digital copies. I can share them with everybody. And I got some very nice little collectibles, especially an OG, like self-published access software edition. So I'm really excited to have that. Sargon 2, by the way, and if I don't make a note of it in the archive, you have to start it with SYS 12288. That's a really weird number, folks. But anyway, so I'm glad I had the manual for that. I would have never figured that out. You load the game and hit run. You know what it says? It says ready. So you actually have to do that command. This cribbage looks pretty good. I don't know if I've ever seen cribbage. And this is nice. It's using like this parchment paper. This is pretty cool, man. Oh, look at this. It's even got the warranty card. I didn't even notice this earlier. Check this out. I always love looking at these. I always wonder what would happen if you sent this in, like today. What would you get? You would get nothing. This is so cool. Would you like a catalog? This is good stuff, man. This is like super like 80s. There's nothing more 80s than a video game warranty card, I'm telling you. Anyway, well, that's it. We're not going to wait for this thing to load, but trust me, it loads. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this just little diversion. We'll get back to the real meaty stuff after I'm done with my controller coverage. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Shane R. Monroe. Like, subscribe, hype the video. Apparently that's the new thing. So if you got hype points at the end of the week, go ahead and hype this video. That'll help us out. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you next time.